message that you intended to give to them.
Right.
That's how you weigh your success or failure in it. If everybody walks away going, well, I think, and they have like a million different ideas, unless that's what you were going for. Like, we went. My wife and I went, and she didn't understand it at all. But my wife and I went to the Modern Museum in Minneapolis.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And I could walk into the rooms, and she's like, well, "This is just a white wall with something sticking out of it, or something like that." And I'm like, "It's not. It's what feeling are you getting from this? What is it saying to you? What is it conveying? That's what the art is about. It's not necessarily about." Here's a picture of a cow. Here's a picture of a tree.
Right. It's about emotion. It's about what thoughts or feelings you get. It's not just about the message. It's about how you do feel as you interpret it visually.
And I'm sensing a lot of anger these days in a lot of artists. Like everything seems to be very angry.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is anger, and I think there's people feeling frustrated that the ignorance the public has of art, and that what abstract expressionism has done to the public to make him even more ignorant about.
But what ignorance do artists have of the art? I mean, is that necessarily the public, or is it artists themselves? I'm not trying to be critiquing.
No. I think you're absolutely right. I think that the Kansas City Art Institute is not preparing artists to be artists, and they don't know how to draw when they come out of there. They don't even know how to do perspective. They don't know how to do oil paintings. They don't know how to do sculptures.
I can't speak to the Kansas City Art Institute. I can speak to the university that I went to, and my frustration, and probably ultimately the reason why I got out of art and why I do art so little that people don't even know that I'm actually an artist. I started doing this stuff.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The thing was that my frustration, first off, coming from the background I had, and I said this earlier, was I felt like I couldn't make a living at it. Like, I was playing. I wasn't going to college. I wasn't working. I was playing. And they weren't teaching me or telling me, hey, you need to forget about this art stuff, or you need to do this, and this. These are the tools we're going to give you to make a living as some sort of artist.
Right.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I know, it's true. They don't teach. But
my classic frustration was I loved going to the senior art shows.
Yeah.
But I would go to them and I'd go, I saw 9th grade high school students that did better work than this. This is your senior show? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but,
Right.
And nobody ever bothered in that person's 4, 5, 6-year college career to say that to them.
And they still got the degree.
Yeah.
They still completed the course requirements.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And I guess that's my frustration with the public's attitude of art and artists' attitude of art, is that art is an easy A. Like when you went to elementary school, it's like math. Oh, I hate math. Oh, I can struggle with math. Science. Oh, I hate that. Art. Okay, it's recess. We're going to draw a picture,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what art has turned into, our culture. It's turned into playtime. It's not serious. And I think a part of that is because the science has been taken out of it. I mean, artists used to be great scientists. Da Vinci was no, that's okay. He was a scientist and an artist. People. The artists are failing because they don't have the right knowledge they need to be successful artists. As business people to succeed as being artists, or as technical mastery.
Yeah, that's what I kind of concluded.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And I can be totally off base. I have no idea. Like, if anybody was listening or watching later, my quote on that is, the way I think art schools should be taught is, at least at the undergraduate level, you go into college and, art degree actually consists of business and marketing for artists. And you take these business and marketing classes with the business and marketing students.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
But every night we expect you to come in and do your labs and learn how to develop your technique and everything else like that.
Right.
It's sort of like some universities with broadcasting. you're not allowed to even touch any broadcasting stuff until you're graduate level. Like MU is that way.
Right. Yeah, and that's how they used to be when they were seriously teaching. When great masters would teach students, they didn't get to paint. They had to draw. They got to do nothing but draw. They had to learn to draw before they got to paint.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Now it's not really taught like that academically at all. Unfortunately, art institutes have just become businesses that make money, don't prepare young people to be artists. But I think you do have to allow young people to develop their skills and realize that most of them aren't going to become masters until they're maybe 50, 55. It takes quite a bit of long time to really become skilled at it. And the best artists I know are also the oldest artists I know. And you can't speed up the aging process.
No.
You know?
You wouldn't want to.
No.
And that's probably why a lot of them are good artists. A lifetime of experience.
Yeah.
And figuring out what they are.
Right.
And I guess another criticism I get into is among the creative class in Kansas City is there's so many other people. I'm calling them the wine and cheese crowd these days, who come in for the wine and cheese, and they're defining
a demonstration of Wirecast.
The culture, as opposed to. My Mardi Gras is coming up. I mentioned this last week, and I got into some frustration with Mardi Gras because I saw it as some people's opportunity to look down their noses at the rest of the normal world, and I'm like, what makes you so different or special?
Right, yeah, I think it's supposed to be a time where the creative people compete and they celebrate each other in the sense that they celebrate each other by rewarding one another, and when oftentimes there's a lot of work and there's not any reward, whether it's financial or just
I saw it as
patronage.
As a fun time, normally a jury downtime of the year.
Yeah, to get through winter here specifically,
Yeah, but
I think
of Wirecast.
Here in Kansas City, people who participate in Mardi Gras all seem to do it for their own reasons. I don't know how many crews there technically are, but I think if you talk to all the people in those crews, you would find that there's a lot of different motivations for even taking part in it. Last year was the first year I learned about it, and as I learn more about it, I don't necessarily become any more interested to participate.
Yeah.
But I do become kind of intrigued about what other people's motivations are to do it.
I was kind of looking forward to it. This is why it is disappointing to me. And then I kind of got knocked down, and now I don't have anything to do with it because it's starting to become, in my opinion, another St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Like the creatives are being squeezed out of it, out of the process, and before long it'll be another drunken parade,
Yeah, it's true. It is. I felt like that energy was there.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yeah, already. Like there was more just drunken idiots on 18th Street than there was creative people coming together to accomplish creating a float or achieving something that it takes a group of people to do.
Well, you said something interesting last Friday at your show. You said, well, a lot of people I know are getting tired because they're off doing a lot of things and working really hard, and then on top of that, it's like the same three people are putting together all the floats and all the shows and all and so they're working really hard on that.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The rest of the people are just coming in and drinking beer and eating the food and moving on.
Right.
Which, I don't know if I should feel that way. I have to try a bright light.
Well, I have been impressed with this Mardi Gras, to say something positive about it, is that the crews that have thrown party for other crew members, I felt like they were trying to say, thank you for doing a lot of work and you never get much recognition, you don't really get any compensation, and you still continue to do it because all the people enjoy it. The people don't pay for it, the people aren't going out and buying art in the Crossroads Art District, and they're not supporting local artists and taking on big commissions. But the artists are continuing to keep doing it.
Well, for the average people, that's a very expensive prospect. And maybe that's an area where the conversation should go more than anything is, I know, this road is narrow.
I feel like that's kind of a cop-out, though, because I feel like the average person spends money on stuff that I don't respect.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because my wife would like to go to Nebraska Furniture Market, and they have those sales of art.
Yeah.
And she wants to buy it, and I'm like, no. No. At the very least, if you think that a $15 sale item is great, spend a little more and at least buy an art print. At least you're supporting an artist in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is like, unless you really can budget for it, which I don't know many people even at my level can, and I'm middle-aged and my wife has a good job and I have a pretty good job, but I go to a show and I see $1,800 on a painting. You can't really spare $1,800.
Yeah, I think that, that's the responsibility of the artist to be realistic about what it's worth. I mean, if it's a work on paper, is it really worth that?
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are big paintings and stuff. They are worth that. Well, some are.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yeah.
It's like, is there really that much work put into it, or is it just, But again, I think it gets back into the business sense. To me, the artists who are making a real living are the ones who... Is that light bothering you?
No, it's fine.
Good. Oops, it's going to go on and on. Let me try reading this. The ones who are making a real living at it... Nothing I have is easy.
Come on, Sony.
This is a demonstration
Sony
of Wirecast.
At this setting, and it'll come on its own. But the ones who are making a real living at it are the ones who can have a diverse portfolio sitting out. Like you walk in and it's like, okay, here's the thing that's worth $4,000 sitting on the wall, but I also have some prints over here for $20, $30, $40, $50. They might sell some of those,
Yeah.
But if it's all like
of Wirecast.
I need to sell these big paintings over here or this big sculpture or whatever.
Well, I think though that the artist can't worry about those $20, $30 purchase, and that the artist needs to recognize that art now, and as always has been, more of a treat for the elite upper class.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So it can't be geared to the average person
who
doesn't
work on their
have the money.
patronage.
Yeah, well, and it's because the elite are the ones that have time to really craft what the art world's going to be.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that can pick what is the ballad art. And that's where the important role of sophisticated aristocrats are.
Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, that's been the history of art, but that's unfortunately what a lot of the young artists you meet will say, oh, that's just such a cop-out. You're telling me some rich person is defining what art is? Like, yeah, for the past, human history? Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly who always defines it. It continues to define it.
For a long time, it was the Catholic Church.
Right. It's the wealthy elite that pick what is going to become successful. And I think that the artist needs to be aware of the public and the struggles of the common man, but I don't think that they can make art hoping that the common man is going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Well, I love seeing a sale, which you don't always see it, and it's terrible. I don't know how galleries really work. But I love seeing a sale actually happen. I love it when you go in there and you see an artist has sold a big piece.
Yeah.
But then, more often, it's like they had a show and they didn't sell anything.
Right.
What? I don't know, maybe it's a Crossroads Arts District, the way it's formatted. A lot of the common man does show up. And
demonstration
they look
of
at it and go,
Wirecast.
My 3-year-old can do that. Or they look at it and go, I like that,
Yeah. I like that, but I would never legitimize the expense since I have a car payment and a mortgage payment. I might lose my job any day now.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, with this recession, the divide is just becoming bigger.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Common Man, we're coming into Independence, Missouri.
Yeah. And you know what? There takes a certain level of sophistication to know the history of art, to understand why art is important. And unfortunately, that most of the average people don't understand that, and that's why not only can they economically not support it, but they wouldn't support it even if they could, because they don't think it's valid. They don't understand the reasoning behind why it's important.
Well, my favorite topic. Just recently, and this is a big pet peeve of mine, the school district in our area made the decision, very typical, of making cuts.
This
and
is
they
a
cut out
demonstration of Wirecast.
the art program they were running. They cut down a program for handicapped youth, namely mentally retarded, developmentally retarded children.
Yeah.
But guess what? They didn't cut a single sports program.
Right, classic.
And you're right, it's classic. And my pet peeve is this: you have sports that, on a good day, will affect maybe 10% of the entire student body of people who will be actively involved in it. And that includes all the sports. And then you cut out art, and you cut, the high school band has to go door to door selling candy to get their uniforms, or to go to Washington to play, or go to the Rose Bowl, or, something like that.
Yeah.
And you have all these art programs which have been proven have a much more effect on all the kids. And then you have drama, and you have acting where kids can really be involved in that stuff. I mean, overall, you take all those programs, you have reached 100% of the student body. What do they cut? Those programs.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the football team going and begging door to door to get money for their uniforms, or to get money to go play at the next week's meet? Hey, you don't buy our